This week we're talking about when he's on two knees and he has basically my worst case scenario. He has my head and he, very importantly for a half guard, he has the underhook on me. So meaning his arm is under my arm. I can't make contact with the floor. I can't use this to I can't use it like I might have in the past to sort of get away. He has me. He has me in every way, and he might be very heavy on me. Yeah, and he might be using the shoulder to smash my face, and this is just as a pretty bad position he's on. You don't, for our purposes, need to cross your legs. You can drape the one leg over his leg. I'd like you to have the freedom of movement that you get when you just drape one instead of a death grip. And the first thing that I want you to think about when you're in the bottom of half guard and they have everything, your head and your arm, is to get one of those things back, and it's going to be my arm. So I'm going to be trying to get a frame back between myself and his neck, and that goes all the way back to our self-defense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fist with this hand, and I'm going to put it on this side of his chin, and I'm going to kind of roto-root my way across until I can hold his shoulder near his neck. You can see that he moved. That's not my power or anything. It's because it's so uncomfortable to have the sharp edge of a forearm in your throat that it's no longer appealing to be adding weight to me, okay? So that's step one. Step one is get a frame back, and I can do it if I can fit my hand, and you can even have his head down, but if I can get my fist in here, I'll just sort of roto-root. So when I say roto-root, I mean I'm doing this action under the chin until I can hold the shoulder. The arm is okay, but I really want his shoulder next to his neck. He might have to look the other way. Yeah, I really want the shoulder next to his neck, right here. And I'm not holding material. I don't want you guys to count on material being there. Also, material moves. I want a mechanical grip on his shoulder blade. Shoulder blade inside the body is a triangle with like a nice ridge at the top. It's got a ridge right here, and I'd like to hold that ridge. From here, I can start thinking about getting actually all the way back to guard. So the first move I'm going to have you guys do is recompose guard. Guard is when I have both legs around. So instead of just holding onto his one leg, I'm ambitious enough here to be driving with my knee. If I need to move his leg, I can do that with this forearm, but in the position he's in, I'm good, I have space. I'm going to bring this through, put my foot on the ground, shoot my hips underneath him, and I should be able to get all the way around. This is bad. I'm flat on my back. Yeah, he's squishing me here, he's on two knees. So I want first a frame, so I'm going to dig my way in here, and that is brutal, brutally annoying. If his knee's a little closer to me, you'll see what I mean by I can use my forearm here and just create a little space. There's not a ton of weight on that knee, actually. So I am usually able to move it with my hand. And now I'm going to bring my knee up through this space now that it fits. But I'd like to still have a grip on his foot, so I usually put my foot at least on his leg, if not over his leg, trapping it here. I put this in, I square my hips to him, and then if my foot is still stuck, definitely possible, I shoot my hip even further toward the trapped foot, and it actually comes out nice and easy. He can prevent me from doing this. If he commits his head further across my body, or basically put your head on the floor here. Yeah. So he's still heavy, he's tight in every way, he's close, and now he's so close on this side that there is no frame, that I'm not gonna be able to get my frame in here. So now I'm gonna switch so that I have two little monkey grips on his calf. Not they stomp down, but they pinch together. And I do it somewhere I can get a grip. It's frequently the ankle for me. Then it's this. And it's the power comes from extending my legs away. In fact, the only power I'm employing by my legs is to extend away. My feet are just getting a clamp grip sort of on either side. Okay, just so you know, it is not a stomp, it is a clamp. And you know, mid-leg doesn't do anything because I just slide down here. There's no landmark to get a purchase on it, but at the ankle there is. If he has very long legs, that purchase might happen at the top of the calf, just because it rounds in here. So you might be able to do that there, but the ankle is a higher percentage on most people. And now this probably will fit. And I'm just going to put my legs back and get back into this position so I can finish. So what I'm going to do is use my legs, and I'm trying to either move him south or move myself north. I'm just going to do this, create a little space. Now this can come in, can roto-root. I can finish the move as I was doing. What if his leg is folded in? Yeah, like that. So I go to do this, but it's hard to find. Right, his forehead's on the ground, he's doing everything up here. I can't do this, I can't find his leg. I think you're just gonna have to put your foot in here and do some work with this foot to peel it out. Now I found it, and I can extend it. Another troubleshooting item with this is that if his knee is close to me, it might be hard to get my knee in when I turn to face him. So I'm going to hip away. When I hip away, now my knee reaches. Hipping out, hip out until the knee fits. And then I'll trap this. Another troubleshooting thing is that sometimes people had a hard time getting their foot out of here. If I put my foot on the ground instead of floating, if I put my foot actually on the ground and then I swing my hips underneath, you'll find that you can move the person, basically no matter what size they are, with your foot on the ground, because you'll either move yourself under them or you'll move them, because this is such a good crowbar. Lift your arm. This right here is such a good crowbar that if it's floating, it's weak, but if I put it on the floor, then my hips can crash through really nicely on any size person. So far we've talked about one way of dealing with being on the bottom half guard, and that's to recover guard. But there is another way to deal with being on the bottom half guard, and that is to roll your opponent. So if I'm on the bottom of half guard, I do have this one option, especially when a person is over-activating their clenching, their holding, yes. This happens because they're like anything to hold this person still in space and to the floor. I'm going to bring both feet as high up toward his knee as I can. Both feet as high up toward his knee as I can. This hand's going to block his arm. I'm just bringing this hand to my side, and I'm just going to roll him. It's actually a very easy roll, especially when they take away their width by clenching, by holding. Yes, the more holding I feel, and the more tension in the other person's body I feel, the more I know that this is an option that's worth a try, and it's no risk either. So I'm just going to bring my feet up as close as I can to his knee. I'm going to block his elbow here, and I'm going to bridge him over. This puts me on top of half guard, and conveniently, for drilling purposes, he can take a turn now. Even better than landing in the top of half guard would be landing already passing half guard. So wherever his foot is, I'm going to bring his foot up to his butt and block his knee. I'm going to come over this arm and under this leg, and I'm going to roll him. And while the legs are apart, I'm going to kick out as I get over here. In this version of the sort of more advanced tilt sweep, I'm going to bring his leg in close, his lower leg in close, block his knee, block his arm and underhook the leg, and I'm going to roll him over. Because there's a good chance when you do this, especially if his legs are apart in the air, that you could step out at the same time. The integrity of his position comes a lot from his base, like the V of his legs, and comes from, you know, how straight, we haven't talked about this, but how straight his spine is here and his ability to put weight down here. If I can kink his spine, and I can do that if I bring his spine, basically, instead of being across me, into a line with mine, then it weakens his ability to keep himself across me, certainly, and I can take advantage of that to roll him. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to block now this leg, and I'm going to do sort of windmill arms, and I've heard this called the Kamikaze sweep. I'm going to block this knee, bring his spine into a line using his head, not his neck, so stay across me. If I try to move his neck, it's much harder than moving his head, then I'm actually able to do this pretty easily. So it's this, and a bridge. Half guard isn't like side mount where he's perfectly 90 degrees across me, but as much as he can get 90 degrees across me, he can hold me down and make sure I can't, you know, roll him, for example. But the more I can take us away from this 90 degrees and make him parallel to me, the more likely I can log roll him. So we're using that concept to roll him now the other way. I'm going to block this knee, and I'm going to bring his head into a line with my spine here and bridge to roll him over this way. I'm gonna act like I'm elbow escaping, and when my knee starts moving in the free space between his knees, he's gonna pinch his knees. He's gonna hold on to my leg, which is the perfect time to go. I'm gonna start elbow escaping. I'm gonna move in the space, the free space between his knees, and to control that, and so that I don't actually elbow escape, yeah, he's gonna pinch his knees. He's gonna pinch his knees together. Go ahead. Yeah, and that's my moment to roll. Because when I feel Greg start moving that leg around in there, I pinch. I'm trying to stop it from going anywhere, and that's his moment.